Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Bengal Tiger podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Shea Dixon. Shea, how are you on this rainy Friday morning?
Yeah, the rain is pounding all day today, but that's going to bring some cool weather, and it's supposed to not rain on
Mhm.
Saturday, so the spring game should be rocking. I saw that LSU put out a video and some photos of what the midfield and I guess end
Saw
zone and
that.
midfield will look like. They have instead of the I, they have the path logo with the state of
hmm
Louisiana at midfield, and then the end zone is kind of a different. It's like not checkerboarded, but at the end
It
has got yellow kind of blocks.
it's like their alternate jerseys in a way. The end
Yeah,
zone, like
it's I
kind of.
will
That's
say
how I.
it's not a permanent thing. LSU
Yeah,
stressed that. They're like, "This is just a one time for the spring game thing."
yeah, that's how I looked at it. Yeah, so today we're gonna be going through the spring game, looking at what we're looking forward to, I guess. We've covered spring on this podcast several times, gone through injuries, done mailbags, answered a lot of questions. So, you brought up an idea that I loved, that we're gonna do. So, if you wanna lay it out for the people, how we're gonna do it and everything.
I stole this from a Bama podcast I was listening to, but I think it fits for us because there's not teams during the spring game. They're just going to do offense versus defense because they're so low on bodies this spring, which we've talked about a million times. So we have picked five positions on offense, five on defense. We'll have a snake draft, picking the positions at the same time. Then after the game tomorrow, we'll tally them up. And when we do the recap pod, we'll see who wins. And I say the easiest way to determine which of our position players was better, I guess we just go by the stats. We're not picking any O linemen. And then whichever one was better, we get 1 point.
Yeah, we should be able to determine it. I
Yeah.
think. I
We'll
think we
leave it
should
up
be
to the
able.
fan
Yeah,
vote if it's a split.
yeah. If not, we'll just throw it on the board. Say who won and just
Who
let
had the
them
better
vote.
team?
Yeah, exactly. Um,
It'll be an
all
easy
right.
way for us to break down too, kind of what we're looking for. Just because it's going to be a not so normal spring game. Again, I can't remember the last time they had a spring game where they didn't have two teams. So
Yeah. I've seen offense versus defense before, but that is interesting. Okay. Well, the only way that I know how to figure out who goes first in a draft is I wrote down a number 1 or 2. If you get it right, then you go first. If you get it wrong, I go first. All right.
okay, I'll go two.
You are correct. It was 2.
There we go.
All right. Shay goes first in the
Are we
spring.
just starting at the top here?
Yeah, we can. I also, for those watching on YouTube, have it in a very simple Google spreadsheet to track, so we can do it that way. And it's nice. Shay goes first, as he's on the left side.
All right.
So,
I will, excuse me, picking quarterback. Okay, so I'll take Jaden Daniels, but I do think that they will both, he and Nussmeyer will both play a good bit and get run with the first team. So I don't think I'm getting any big competitive advantage there. But I am eager to see how Jaden looks. Look, Brian Kelly said in the presser on Thursday when he was talking about the spring game and talking about Jaden Daniels, I think he played last year in about 190 pounds. He's at 210 or over 210 now. Bulking up was a big part of his offseason. And Kelly came out and said, look, our offense had all the O line there. Well, not all the O line. They had five starters out there during the spring that they like. They had all the receivers but Aaron Anderson. Both quarterbacks in Nussmeyer and Jaden were there the whole time. And Kelly sort of painted the picture that he was like, the offense should look good in the spring game. So
mhm.
I think both these quarterbacks. I don't think there's a bad pick here, but I got the first pick. I'll go with the starter.
Daniels Daniels is probably the right pick because I think he might get more reps in theory. But I'm perfectly fine taking Garrett Nussmeyer because I think Garrett Nussmeyer is going to light up the scoreboard. I think he could potentially complete a couple of those home run balls. Now, with saying that, Jaden Daniels, the emphasis for him throughout the spring has been to be more vertical, to be more aggressive down the field. So why not in a spring game? Display that, right? If you're Jaden Daniels, you have nothing to lose. These stats are not counting. This is not a win or lose game. In theory, this is, like you said, one of the more unique spring games in LSU recent history. So I think Daniels and Nussmeyer will both take their shots down the field. Um, I'm perfectly fine with taking Nussmeyer here.
You know Nussmeyer is going to throw that thing down the field in
Yeah,
the spring game.
Nussmeyer was gonna get his tosses in. Let's just say. So,
Yep,
anyways,
I don't mind either pick.
yeah, good pick. All right. Running back.
So it's a
Running
snake. You get to go now.
Trey Holly or Noah Kane. We have not heard anything about any of the other running backs playing. So, as far as Josh Williams being available, don't see that happening. And then obviously the Armani Goodwin and John Emery situations are separate cases, but they're not going to play in this game. I'm going to go. This is tough. I'm going to roll Trey Holly. I'm
Ooh.
just I'm just going to roll Trey Holly. I think Trey Holly could potentially see this as a chance to, get his name out there. He has a lot more to prove than Noah Kane does. Noah Kane is Noah Kane. He's gonna do what he does. He's a guy who can fit a lot of different roles for this team. But I'm gonna go Trey Holly because I think maybe he can pop one.
The state's all-time leading rusher, stepping
Yes,
right into his first spring game.
yes.
Matty B's got you on the draft board, Trey Holly.
There you go.
Okay, well, the only other option, scholarship running back that will play is Noah Kane. So I'll pick Noah Kane. I look back at last year, Matty B. I want to see, because they split the running back reps pretty equally, and in part because guys were in and out of the lineup at different
Hmm.
times, like Josh Williams. But Noah Kane finished with
I mean,
75 carries, 400 yards, about 5.4 yards a carry, and 10 touchdowns. Big goal line guy, red zone guy. I
yeah,
would guess they're going to do some work there. So I don't mind my pick. I'm more curious to see, Matty B, what all spring it was only really Trey Holly and Noah Kane, I think, in every single practice. I'm not sure if either of them ever missed a practice. So no other running back was ever there. Could they like how much sort of like good grace did they garner from Frank Wilson? Like, how does that
yeah,
lead to more touches? Did they get like better or trusted more this spring than maybe they would have if everyone would have been there?
yeah. I mean, I would assume so. Like you said, being there, I'm sure, punctual, on time, ready to practice every time. We know what Trey Holly can do. We know what Noah Kane is as a veteran at this point. So it can't hurt showing up to work, ready to work. So that's a good start for them. All right, receiver, you are first with your
Okay,
first receiver pick.
I will. Do I get 2 picks here?
No, 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 no. One, then
Okay.
one, then one, then one.
Okay. I was about to say that would be unfair if I got both if I got to choose 2
Yes,
receivers out the gate.
yes.
Oh, I really wanna pick someone who's not Malik Neighbors right here, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll now do if when I pick, do you get to pick 2 times in a row?
Yep. That's how the snake
Who?
works.
Okay, I gotta go Malik Neighbors then. I'll go wide receiver 1, went over 1,000 yards for the first time since the 2019 season when Jefferson and Chase both did it. Um, has been healthy all spring, and is
Mm-hmm.
no doubt there's like no debate that he is wide receiver 1 on this team. So I'll take it and feel good about it, despite knowing you're about to go back to back here on potentially the other 2 starters.
I'm definitely taking. So the first pick, I'm definitely taking Brian Thomas.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take Brian Thomas here. Um, the question for me becomes after that. Because then you have a lot of interesting names here that I like that could potentially pop. We've talked a lot about Kyron Lacy. You asked Brian Kelly that question about Kyron Lacy. Seems like he's coming along quite well. Chris Hilton's healthy now. Then you have the freshman Kyle Parker and Jalen Brown. No Aaron Anderson. You know, I think this sets up really nicely. Like, I think Kyron could have a lot of catches, but I'm gonna stick with my Garrett Nussmeier mentality here. I think Chris Hilton catches has a big reception in this game, so I'm gonna go Chris Hilton.
I like that. I know I had this written down because I talked to Chris the other day. And give y'all some background here. So Chris Hilton's been on the team for 2 years now, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he's Brian Thomas and all them's age.
Yeah.
So they all came in together. But remember, he's been hurt. He said that in year 1, he tore his left meniscus. In year 2, tore his right meniscus. And then in the middle of year 2, tore his labrum. And he said quite often his shoulder pops out and he has to get it put back. But he said he's about as close to 100% as he's been since high school. So got through some surgeries, redshirted, all that. And he did say he is kind of become the deep ball threat for the team right now in practices. So I like that pick. I'm a big Chris Hilton fan too. So
Yeah.
you nabbed both of them, BT and Chris Hilton, two Baton Rouge area boys who came out in the same class and are close buddies. And look, if Chris Hilton has a big year for LSU, that's really, really good news because they need someone beyond this top group to step up. I'm taking Yeah, I've got to go. I'm going to pick Kyron Lacy, who I think is wide receiver 3 right now, though I do think that wide receiver is a position where they shuffle him in and out a good bit anyways. Even Malik Neighbors, wide receiver 1 was coming off the field in rotations last year. I was at the coaches clinic where all the high school coaches come and listen to all the LSU coaches talk. And I talked to multiple LSU coaches there. They were just out hanging out and talking to everybody. And I won't name names, but they should know how good these guys are. And Kyron Lacy was someone they said it took a big leap from where he was a year ago to now. And when I asked Brian Kelly about it, he said the same thing. He said, look, there were times last year where we even saw it in fall camp, like he was dropping passes in individual drills. And it was like, oh man, come on. It's like you're losing your focus. And then we saw it in games. And I think that A&M game for him probably was a turning point to where it's like, all right, I'm really going to need to dial in mentally, turn this around. I'm talented enough. And yeah, I've heard really good things this offseason. So I feel good
Yeah.
about Kyron Lacy.
Yeah. Kyron Lacy, him and Kayshawn were the ones we saw in the fall. We were like, oh, all right, come on, we got to start seeing this come together. And, Kyron, had less drops, I think, than Kayshawn. But yeah, that was something we could tell in the fall wasn't quite right. But I feel good about that. Was there any consideration for Kyle Parker at this spot?
Well, I think the other options would have obviously been Ibieta, Kyle Parker, and Jalen Brown. And
Hmm.
Ibieta's not a freshman like they are, but he's coming off of a freshman year
Yeah.
where he was banged up and didn't get to play a ton. So I kind of almost pull them all together as guys I'm excited to see. If I were to pick one of them from the group, it'd be tough because I think they all bring something. And again, we haven't seen enough to know like how much run they're really each going to get.
Yeah.
But I do think deep ball wise, Jalen Brown is someone who's
Yeah.
similar to Chris Hilton. He can take
Yeah.
the top off of defense.
Yeah. I thought about Kyle Parker for a second over Chris Hilton, maybe just because if they give him a lot of run, like in the slot or something, maybe he can have like 4 catches for like 30 yards or something, and that could be valuable. But, anyways, all right, tight end.
We only
Really
have
have,
two options here, I
I was
think.
gonna say, we got two options here.
Well, they've got
Well, that's
Kamorian
not
Pimpton
true.
doesn't get here till the summer, and Mason Taylor, who's your starting tight end, was
Yeah.
out all spring. So our options are Mac Markway and Jackson McGohan. I feel bad. Well, I also think Markway is only really a blocking tight end, so I'm not sure what his stats are going to look like. And I also feel bad that you've been on the McGohan train forever, and then we get into a draft and you might not get to take him. So
I'm not getting him.
give me Markway.
Oh,
I'll let you
wow.
have McGohan
Oh,
here.
nice.
I'll let you
Nice
have
of you.
him.
Watch, Mark Wade's gonna have like 2 touchdowns, and it's gonna come back and bite me
The
anyways.
Midwest Mac, step up for me, get a couple catches. But hey, look,
Um,
this is another position where you could maybe make the case that the 2 guys who are not playing are gonna be the 2 guys by the end of the year who played the most, but I think
mhm,
that Markway's got a real shot this year to be a blocking guy for him and help him out. I think McGohan's a year away from that, right?
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm taking Jackson McGohan for the audio listeners out there, as a second tight end. Markway, I could see getting on the field more than the other 2 freshmen just because of his blocking.
Yes.
Now, obviously, my questions with him out of high school were his upside because obviously you can block, you're going to get on the field, but to what extent? Because we saw a guy like Mason Taylor take significant strides forward as a blocker last year. And it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to teach a guy like Mason Taylor how to block than it is teach a guy like Mac Markway how to catch the ball and, I mean, be a fluid receiver. So that's my only question for Mac Markway, but that's big picture. That's like in 2 years. That's in next year, 2024. For for him. But as far as 2023 goes, I think Mac Markway is a very, very viable path to being on the field, and playing alongside Mason Taylor at times in 12 personnel packages. Now,
I agree.
go ahead.
I think Markway is gonna be someone who's I'm anxious to see him, but not anxious, eager to see them both because I think that at least we'll see with Markway kind of how far along he is blocking wise because we haven't seen Markway didn't play as a junior or a senior in high school. So
Yeah.
it's been a while since we've been able to see him. But Kelly did say that both these guys are further actually Denbrock said it, who is the tight ends coach. He said both guys are further along than he thought they would be coming in. So
Yeah, Jackson McGohan, for those who maybe don't know or haven't read up on him or watched his tape or anything, I'm very, very high on him. I think I had him number 6 in my in the class for me, like personal rankings. He is very, very fast with the ball. I think he has a very high upside as a receiver. Like I even thought there was a chance they could flank him out to receiver if they wanted to later in his career if they thinned him out. But he's strong, catches the ball well, very fast after the catch, and I could see him potentially getting some nice yak in this game.
okay, we're done on offense. Our
All right,
teams are set now.
to
We got
recap
5
the
guys.
offense real quick for the listeners, for the audio listeners. Shea has Jaden Daniels, Noah Kane, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Lacey, and Mac Markway. I have Garrett Nussmeier, Trey Holly, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, and Jackson McGowan. All right.
I feel like I've got the first team and you've got the second team, but we'll see. They're all on the same team here, so
You're actually right. You're
we
actually
will see. Okay,
probably right, actually.
I went first before, so you get to go first now
Well,
on defense.
oh yeah, because you got Markway. Okay. At the jack position,
This is a hotly contested one here.
I'm going to take Ovia Gofu. With that being said, I understand Ovia Gofu is in year 6 and does not have a lot to prove in this game. So I don't know how much he's actually going to be impacting this game, but I'm going to take Ovia Gofu. I spelled it wrong.
I think that Ovia Gofu is the starter right now.
Yeah.
And look, we've debated this one for a long time. I think ultimately they get into a spot where Deshaun Womack is starting at jack and not D end, and that's just what it is. They have more D ends than they do jacks in my mind in terms of high level guys. So I'll go with the other. I'm tempted to go Jackson Howard here, but I can't guarantee how much he's going to play as an early enrollee in this game behind 2 guys who are older than him and both transferred in. And both, when we watched it in individual drills, Matty B, Ovia Gofu and Braden Swinson were the 1-2 every time. So
Yeah.
I've got to go Swinson here. I guess I can't pick Harold Perkins here either, right? I've got to go Swinson.
No, I will not let that fly.
That's the ruled out. Okay, I'll go Braden.
He's trying to get Harold Perkins and Omar Speights somehow.
Yeah, trying to lodge
on the same team.
Don't sleep on my linebacker picks. I'm coming with that one. Yes,
right.
I will go with the other transfer out of Oregon, Braden Swinson, who is significantly younger too. So I think that Ovi is further along because he's the veteran.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Defensive line.
Okay, so we get to pick anything here. D end, D tackle, nose tackle.
But remember, all that matter are stats here.
All that matter is stats. That is correct.
Who's going to get some tackles?
And a reminder, Mekhi Wingo and Mason Smith, 2 of the best players on the team, are not playing in the spring game. So give me I'll take Savion Jones.
Okay.
I'll go with another starter.
All that.
Or I need a starter. I don't have a starter yet on defense. I feel good about Savion starting. So the heir apparent at the Ali Gay spot, playing some D end. He's been a first team guy in the spring. We saw him in the bowl game. Former 5-star on 3. Everyone talks about Quincy Wiggins and like why is he not doing anything? You know, when is he going to break out? It's like he's been here a year.
Yeah.
Everyone's focus should be on Savion Jones, the guy right in front of him who's 1 year older and now has his chance to break through. So I'll go Savion. And I think that maybe the ends get a little more stat wise. I guess it's like flag football touch, but so they'll get some more touches in than maybe like a nose tackle would.
I think that's the right pick. Quincy Wiggins, okay, I'm between Quincy Wiggins and Jacoby and Guillory because
Oh, I like that.
if we think about it, right? Jacoby and Guillory, inside runs, inside pressures. It's easy to get sacks if you just get a hand on the quarterback, stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna stick with Wiggins. I'm gonna stick with Quincy Wiggins. I think that's the right pick. A guy who we're excited to see show out a little bit in this game. I'm gonna take Quincy Wiggins, but I'm excited to see Jacoby and Guillory, who everybody's been talking up this spring, and I think he's gonna have a good game as well. It's my pick. My pick for linebackers. I'm taking Harold Perkins.
All right, do it.
I'm taking Harold Perkins. If nothing else, because I want Harold Perkins on my team. So there you go. He's look in theory in a game like this, he's gonna play for the most part inside. When we talked with Matt House, or was it? No, it was John Jancic. And someone asked him about Harold Perkins, how much he's been able to work with him. He said it was only on third downs, so on and so forth. So first and second down, we presume Harold Perkins at inside, third down him at outside / jack, or at least in a pass rushing package for them. So I think Harold Perkins can rack it up. I think he leads the team in tackles in this game.
That's a good pick. Okay, so I almost feel like this is going to be a throwaway pick for me because I think Harold Perkins will lead in tackles and will get you the dub at the linebacker spot. Maybe that means I need to be a little bold here.
Yep.
I'm going to go Greg Penn. And I think Omar Spates is a starter. I think he very well could be great for them in the spring game, all that. I need to mix it up, so I'll pick the guy who led the team in tackles a year ago.
Was there any?
This is a don't forget about me moment for Greg Penn right here. Spring game hero coming up.
If we were picking second linebackers, who would you? So then you would pick Omar and Greg as your two.
Yeah.
Because then I'm thinking of who I would pick, and I was like, it has to be one of the Weeks brothers.
It has to be a Weeks brother.
And then I'm thinking of which one I would pick.
I think Witt, long term, the younger one that just got to campus, is going to be the better player, but I still think that West is a very good player.
Yeah. And they're both getting plenty of run in the spring. So I don't know who I would pick in that situation, but only one linebacker, which I think is fair for this. All right, you now have the first cornerback.
Okay, these are the two positions I think are toughest.
Yes. Yeah.
Corner.
Because it's like we go to practice and it's very much, it changes. It feels like very often, very frequently. Not that it changes when they're scrimmaging, but we don't get to watch scrimmages. We get to watch them go out there, do their little 11-man, drill to start off, and then they go individual. And it's like sometimes it's Denver Harris, sometimes it's Zy Alexander, sometimes J.K. Johnson, Terrence Welsh gets a lot of reps. So this is very challenging for me.
I'm going to try not to overthink this.
Okay.
And just pick the best player.
Go ahead.
I'll pick Denver Harris, but I will say that, again, we haven't gotten to see full practices at all. We only saw these 20-minute starting individual periods, but even when they did do like interception return drills, stuff like that, Denver Harris wasn't always out there with the first team. So I may be picking someone that's not even out there with the first team right away, but there's no way he doesn't play. And he's healthy. And I think that this is his first time to suit up in an LSU uniform. He'll be excited about that. I'll take Denver.
We're counting nickels with safeties, right? I would think.
Yes. Or just do either. You can pick a nickel at corner or safety.
I don't think I'm gonna pick a nickel anyways. I was just asking.
Okay.
I'm not picking Sage Ryan.
No. But, okay.
All right. Like I said, I've seen Zy get a lot of reps. I've seen JK get a lot of reps. I've seen Terrence get reps. Heck, we've seen Javian Toviano get a ton of reps. He could also be at safety if you want to pick him there. The guy who I think I've seen the most of and I trust the most at this point, it's either JK or Zay, and I'm going to take JK Johnson. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Briefly thought about Terrence Welsh, but
I almost picked Zy Alexander above Denver Harris.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the start of spring, it was Denver and Zai at the 1-2, and then we went to practice a week or so ago, and it was JK out there with Zai, I think, and then it's just kind of been everywhere. I liked what I saw from JK in the obviously limited reps. I think JK could get out there, and he's experienced enough playing at Ohio State to where he can go in there and make some plays. He can get all I need is one interception, JK. There you go. Win this for me. Okay. Safety. This is the hard part because we
I
don't.
think that your man eval crush is actually the good pick here.
You said my eval
Yeah,
crush?
well, your man crush on the eval side would be a good pick here, I think. If anyone's a longtime listener, you're very
I
high on a second-year player who actually is playing right now.
Yeah, I really like Jordan Allen here, and he's been getting a lot of reps. Yeah, I'll take him. I'll take Jordan Allen.
We don't know. We know that Major Burns and Greg Brooks are your starters at safety, but both Major Burns is out for
Yes.
the spring game. I'm not sure if Greg Brooks will be a full go or not. So I'm not going to pick Greg Brooks for that reason. Like, I don't want to pick someone and then him not even be out there. So I do think Greg Brooks, if he's playing, is going to be the best safety they have out there. Oh, man, this is
I think
tough.
there's one name you should take. Well, actually, there's two. I think there's two names you should take. But I'm not going to help you out.
This is tough. I'm going to go. I'm stuck between two freshmen. I want to pick Toviano. I think he's the better player.
What
But
about the so?
Kelly was
Okay,
talking up
sorry.
Ryan Yates a good bit.
He was. He was. He was. I was thinking either Toviano or Sage Ryan.
Oh, that's right. I can pick a nickel
You
here.
can pick Sage Ryan because he'll probably play some safety
I'll
too.
I'll pick Sage. But I was very tempted to pick Toviano just because I think he'll be out there at corner, safety, whatever. He'll get some run. And then I also think, or it seems to be a fact that Ryan Yates, the true freshman out of Denton Guyer, has been playing a lot with those safeties hurt. So he
Yeah.
may be getting some stats, but I'll get Ryan because I think he'll play nickel and safety in this game.
Yeah. If we were doing a second DB, I would pick Toviano with the next pick.
I did see, well, what happens if we're 5-5? We need a tiebreaker here. I've got a tiebreaker for us. Hold on. Let me see what I tweeted the other day.
Okay, I was gonna figure out something with the kickers, but
Yeah, there's only two options there though. So then what? Like, who makes more feel? Who?
no,
Would,
I was gonna say like over under 1.5 misses from
oh,
each.
okay, okay. All right. What about this?
Go ahead.
Well, I know they're going to do a special teams period. I don't know what that really means in terms of like the return game. Like, I don't know if we could be. John Jancic, we met with the special teams coordinator the other day, and he said that his return men right now, the main ones have been Greg Clayton, Kyle Parker, Sage Ryan, and Noah Kane. But I don't really know what they would do in the spring game other than just like punt it to him and catch it.
All right, how about this? Will there be a dropped return at any point? Over under 0.5.
Yeah, but then we both have to one has to think the other. I don't know what's a better thing. Let's think here. Let's really put our heads together. Maybe someone's out there screaming at their phone
Yes.
or car saying
So-
there's an easy solution here.
How about this? We just
let's
go
pick.
tiebreaker. We just go tiebreaker. Whichever one of our quarterbacks throws more interceptions is the loser.
That's a bold strategy by you. I've got the conservative one, and you've got the gunslinger.
Hey, Daniels is gonna come out throwing the ball down the field, and he's gonna get picked off twice. There you go.
Okay, we'll settle on that then.
Okay.
If we run into it. All right. Did we have any who's glaringly missing? I guess maybe like Omar Spates that neither of us
Omar
took him
Spates is missing.
would be a glaring miss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just taking I only took Greg Penn because I am a Greg Penn fan.
Yeah, Omar Spates. He's kind of like how I picked Ovia Gofu, and I was like, I don't think he's gonna get a ton of reps, but I think he could be the starter, so that matters. When you get veterans like that are in year 5, 6, heck, is Ovi in year 6 or 7? 6, right? They don't have a lot to prove in this game. I just think it's going to be pretty straightforward for them. Real quick to recap the defense for those listening: Shea has Braden Swinson, Savion Jones, Greg Penn, Denver Harrison, Sage Ryan. I have Ovia Gofu, Quincy Wiggins, Harold Perkins, J.K. Johnston, and Jordan Allen. So again, this was not a draft of who could build the better team because Shea has done that. This is who's going to perform better in the spring game. So I'm interested. I'm excited.
All right. I like the squads.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll be in the press box together, so this will be a live back and forth here.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. We'll keep the tabs in the thread whenever we post the podcast. We'll keep tabs on it and everything like that in our message board. Anything else? Any other news before the spring game?
It's, I think it's at 1:00 tomorrow for anyone who's wanting to watch.
Yep.
1:00
SEC,
on SEC Network Plus, I believe, is where it's streaming at.
Oh, yeah.
At home doesn't get to make it to the game.
Yeah. I just it's not going to be on SEC Network, I guess, because baseball will be all over that.
Yes, there's obviously going to be a lot of baseball this weekend. Let me just double. I do believe it is at 1:00 though.
I believe it is too. That's what I was.
Let's see. 1 p.m. in Tiger Stadium. It's offense versus defense, and then the scrimmage will also feature special teams work. And if you show up to the game, you get a free L Club poster and a roster card if you feel like going out there and watching. It's supposed to not rain either, so that'll be nice. But yes, for those that have not looked it up, 7 a.m. campus opens with parking lots. 11 a.m. they'll have an L Club tailgate by the PMAC. At noon, gates open at Tiger Stadium. At 12:50, the band will perform, and at 1, they'll start things off. So that's the breakdown.
All right. Should be fun. That's it. That's all we got. Here's one more look at the rosters for those watching. We'll see who wins and who loses. I don't think we're not gonna have a punishment attached to it. Last time I did a punishment, I ended up eating a hot chip, and
but that was not on ours. That was for North Texas or something, right?
That was not LSU.
Okay. That did not go well for you.
It was worst decision. I don't wish that upon anybody. Nobody should eat this. No, don't do this.
Was this one of those you get at the Okay, you kept the box just for.
Of course.
For
if
memories.
I'm gonna put myself through that, I'm keeping the box. It's actually right here.
What is it called?
I don't know. I don't want to promote this. That's the Paki One Chip Challenge.
Okay, so there's not like a flavor. It's just hot.
No, they come out with a different one every year. This one is Reaper Pepper and Scorpion Pepper. It says it right there.
All right.
Yeah, don't do this.
I've never done that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. If y'all been paying attention, it's actually been right there the whole time on the podcast.
Wow, that looks like a credential I never saw.
Yeah, it's been there for like the past 2 months, but I've had it there. So.
Oh, you added. You've got some new background, Matty B. For those that watch on YouTube, he's got his women's Final Four advocate up.
Yep, shout out the advocate. Got that one. Nothing else really changed over here, I don't think. These are all from the women's Final Four one. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, when you get into Final Four and national championship stuff, they give you the credentials are very heavy duty. They're like professionally done.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's all that's new with my wall. So all right, that's it. We'll leave it there. We'll have a post spring game reaction podcast as well going up either whenever, Saturday night, Sunday morning, whenever it is. So be on the lookout for that as well. Leave us a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, we greatly appreciate it. So also become a member to the Bengal Tiger On3. I believe we're still running the 4 months for $10, Shea.
Yes, it'll run through Sunday evening. So if you are not a member of the Bengal Tiger yet, $4 or $10 for 4 months is not a bad deal. Carries you all the way into football season. So,
Yep. All the
and
recruiting.
Billy just dropped a bunch of tidbits on the D-line coaching search. You had some stuff on women's basketball hosting a number of transfers, including Haley Van Lith. So busy month. We've got recruiting visitor list going up today for the spring game. LSU's expected to get at least one commitment at the spring game. So jam-packed.
Yes,
Join the site.
jam-packed. Jam-packed. Join the site. On the women's basketball front, what I said was going to happen on Wednesday, or what we heard was going to happen on actually happened now, and tomorrow top 3's out. So yeah, all the good stuff, all the goodies in there. Subscribe for $10 for 4 months. Yeah, become a subscriber, join the message board, all that stuff. So yeah, thank y'all for joining us, and we will talk to y'all later.
Peace.